Hey, this is John and Lisa, and this is a quick CHUM update with Hurricane Irma and the wildfires going on in the Gorge. We thought that we would bring you some information on some of the events that are going on, some safety information. Remember, we give you safety information so that you can make very educated decisions and take personal responsibility and help people not get hurt. So, fortunately for all of you and for me, Lisa has an extensive background in emergency management. So take it away, Lisa.
All right, yeah. Before becoming a muleteer full time, I did work for the state of North Carolina, and one of my primary functions was emergency management communications, both with the State Forest Service, Environment and Natural Resources Department, and then with the NCDOT. So this is something that is kind of near and dear to my heart, and I guess you can take the emergency management communicator out of the office, but you can't take the office out of her. So yeah, we just wanted to talk a little bit about safety without panicking people or overreacting. It's just good preparedness if you live anywhere in the hurricane-prone areas like we do here in North Carolina, and certainly the folks in Florida who are no strangers to this either. But we just wanted to talk a little bit about being safe.
Excellent. So the path of Irma, we know that Key West has already been ordered to evacuate. Everybody who is a non-resident was supposed to be out by dawn this morning, and 12 hours later, Key West residents are supposed to be out. So they should be leaving. We've seen extensive lines at gas stations and I-75 North. There's a parking lot. I mean, there are a lot of people moving out of the path. The latest forecasts have it going directly over Florida, and it seems like it's trending to be going more out towards the east and north and South Carolina and North Carolina after it goes through the tip of Florida. So we're obviously all looking at that. Lisa, you talked about how you really don't know. I mean, you can see all the paths, and as time goes on, you get a better
Right,
idea. But
right. I think it's really important to pay attention to those things, and we always look at the spaghetti models because they're um, uh, okay, they're sexy, they're cool looking, they're dramatic, but it's very important to know that those aren't the end all be all. They're just models. They're used as part of a larger whole when the meteorologists look at their forecasting and what they think is going to happen. The one thing to note about spaghetti models is when they start to really get tight and narrow together, that's when they become a little bit more important. At this point in time, more than 5 days out, all bets are off. And NOAA and all the meteorologists in the other sources, respected sources, will tell you that beyond 5 days, there's just really no way of telling what a hurricane like this is going to do vis-a-vis tracking, landfall, and intensity. So that's why it's really important that if you do live in the hurricane-prone areas, you pay attention. You pay attention to your local folks, your state folks, what the national folks are saying, and you get ready. And, there's no harm in getting ready. And just because you're paying attention, just because you're maybe thinking about where you might go if you have to evacuate in the worst case scenarios, putting together a Rubbermaid box like I've got sitting right here next to me with essentials, that doesn't mean you're overreacting. It means you're being smart. And if you don't need it, well, it's ready to go next time you do, and you've had a nice practice drill. So I get just a little frustrated with folks who kind of shame other people about, well, it's not going to come our way yet. You're overreacting. No, you're not. You're being smart.
yeah. So what do you
So
have in that Rubbermaid tub? What are
yeah,
good things to
well,
have in that kit?
first aid kit, obviously. Um, Batteries, extra batteries. You might think about getting a power brick, couple of those so that you can keep your phone charged without having to run to the car and stick it in the car charger. If you want to get extreme about it, this is kind of heavy. This is a goal. I don't know. Can you see this, John?
Absolutely, goal zero.
This is a Goal Zero Yeti 400. Yeti 400. It's a small little power pack that will allow me to do like 30 phone charges, laptop charges, but also it has a 110 volt outlet here where I can plug in small appliances like, oh, I don't know, the coffee pot. I went through Hurricane Fran, 3 days without coffee. It was horrible. So now I have a way to at least keep caffeinated. And if I can't keep caffeinated, I can't be safe. That's just all there is to it. But anyway, this is charged up and ready to go just in case. Probably means that Raleigh's not going to need it since I went ahead and bought this. You can thank me later. That is a joke.
What about the
Something
solar
to consider.
panels? The
What?
solar panels, the solar
Yes,
charging?
there is a solar panel that does go with this Yeti that I can use to keep it charged up, or my other devices as well. I know that, again, a lot of times the day or two after the hurricane can be usually quite beautiful and very sunny. So to have a solar charger is great. Also, the Lucy lights, the little inflatable solar charged lanterns, they're fantastic. They put off a lot of light. They charge up really fast, and that charge lasts a long time. Plus, kids love them. So if you have a family, it's a great fun thing to have that's also very useful, and they're pretty inexpensive as well. Headlamps are good. Stoves. If you have a camp stove, this is one of my favorites. It's a solo stove. It actually is a wood-burning stove. Or I can put a alcohol burning stove inside it to heat up water should I need that. If you have a Coleman camp stove, that's great. Just be sure to run out to your local sporting goods shop and get fuel for that. If you're going to use your propane camp stove, do not use it in the house. Take it outside and use it outside. The fumes inside the house without proper ventilation is a recipe for disaster. So keep that in mind. Dog food, cat food, medicine for both you and your pets. If your pets are on any meds, good time to run out and stock up on that early. Bleach is a good thing to have on hand. And also, I want to thank Kat from Florida for this great suggestion. This is a Igloo 5-gallon drinking water container,
Yep.
kind of like the kind
Custom
you see.
made for the mullet, as you can see.
Yes,
It's
custom made for the
branded.
mullet. And
And
shout out here to Village of Stoke.
yep.
Fill this up ahead of time so that you don't have to go out and buy bottled water. This also comes in a 10-gallon size as well. Also, fill up your bathtubs. Clean out the freezer because that's going to go pretty quickly if you lose power, and replace the freezer with some jugs of water.
And I'd rather
And
get
you
2
can
of the
use-
5 gallons than 1 of the 10 gallons, only because water is water 8 pounds per gallon about.
Water is very heavy.
Yeah,
Now,
so
they
that would
do-
be 40 or 80 pounds if you've got a 10
They
gallon.
do make a version of this on wheels.
Oh yeah, they've got
Um,
the it's like a
Yeah.
you know, a dolly for when you pick up boxes or that kind of thing, or luggage. How much food? I mean, how many days of food and water? I know that you have dried food, camp food.
Right. I've
Um,
got
what's a
my favorite happens to be Mountain House. This is very sodium heavy though, because it is backpacking food, so it's meant to be used when you're out on the trail exerting energy. But it has a fantastic shelf life, and it actually doesn't taste bad. They say a 14-day supply of food per person.
that
I'll be
sounds
honest, I
kind
don't have
of prepper, but
14 days.
yeah.
That is kind of prepper. I go personally with
But
at
who
least
knows
3.
in Houston? I
Right.
mean,
Right.
well, good. Well, that's just a little taste. I mean, there are so many resources online that you can go to.
Absolutely.
Now, just wanted to. There are two main events that are going on down in Florida, and that is the Surf Expo and the Space Coast Paddlefest. Now, the Space Coast Paddlefest is, they put out a message yesterday saying that due to the potential threat of Irma to the Space Coast, we've decided to postpone the race until we can figure out a new date. As of now, they do not have a new date. But when they shift that, everything will be the same: the location, the times, and they just they hope everyone can will stay safe. The Surf Expo that was supposed to it starts the 6th and ends on Saturday, shortened it so that it would end early on Friday at 5. There are a number of people that were going to Surf Expo, including myself, that are unable to go now. It is a state of emergency in Florida. There are lines at the gas stations. It's not, what you see on the news, especially in southern Florida, is really bad. The rest of the state will slowly ramp up. With the models coming towards North Carolina, it's not as much the fear of driving there and getting stuck as it is not being prepared if it comes at us, because we're in line. So it's both preparing my house and my home and my family, and also not being away. So for those people who are there, demo day is today that's run by Hobie. The people that flew in are already there. People that drove in, again, everyone's making plans and watching the maps. But so if you're in the area, go. If you're leaving the area, be safe. And if you're thinking about going, look at the maps, make a educated and intelligent decision, not based on guilt or fear. So
and listen to what your local authorities are telling you.
Yeah. Or Lisa.
First and foremost, listen
Yeah.
to what the local authorities are telling you.
Then Lisa. Lisa said no, and I trust her. So anyway, that's that.
I love you, John.
No, I mean, your background is this. So when you say not a good idea for these reasons, you kind of have to listen.
Well, we just don't know.
Yeah.
That's the nature of these storms. We just don't know.
Now, on to the Gorge, which is absolutely horrible what's going on out there.
Really, all of the western part of the country is having one of the worst fire seasons on record, and one of the lengthiest fire seasons in quite some time, if not ever. And I think certainly Hurricane Harvey has been horrible, and now the attention is focused on Irma and the other storm that might be coming behind Irma. And not a lot of focus has been on the wildfires out west, because we have them every year. But this year the intensity seems to be a little bit higher. And there are two, at last check, major fires in the vicinity of the Hood River Gorge, kind of surrounding Cascade Locks, which is about 20 miles of the town of Hood River. The gorge has just been full of smoke. And I know that Dan Gavir has been quite concerned, and has on his personal Facebook page been issuing, much like you have, John, if anybody needs any help out there, I know that he stands ready to do what he can.
Yeah, Dan's lived there for years. He's got a great place. He's he really means it. If you can find him on Facebook, it'll be really helpful, because when you see the photos of that Eagle Creek fire and the evacuations, and especially the photos from the Washington side, when you
looking towards Oregon side,
it's unbelievable. And to think that whole fire was started by someone setting off some fireworks, it's kind of frustrating. Doesn't cover it, but
no.
Anyway, our thoughts and
Well, if you are in that area, or you have loved ones who are in that area, or if you just have an interest, probably the best website to follow, and it doesn't get talked about a lot, is the National Interagency Fire Center website, NIFC. And it's a fantastic website that has all the updated situation reports, great maps, everything you need to know about any of the Western fires. It's a great thing to bookmark and refer to.
Excellent. Well, everybody, we're going to sign off. So we are right at our 30-minute limit. So as many of you know, we're going to be putting these out more often and developing and putting them into a podcast. So thanks for all your support. This podcast is sponsored by Paddle Monster, who encourages you, if you're stressed out about the hurricane, to go train, unless you're in the path,
Safely.
in which case get out of the safely.
Train
yes.
safely.
But and we're all getting ready for Chattajack right now. So, and yeah, be safe and thanks for your support. And that's it.
Take care, everybody.